Come on, Clint. We are.
Clint, does it do a new feed?
We're gonna
Not on YouTube.
Oh, nice. It's back.
YouTube.
All right, we're good.
It's got a new timer.
It says 0 people.
No, they're still there on YouTube though. I don't think that the software has picked them up yet.
People at YouTube suck.
I broke the internet with the volleyball comment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
Charles broke the internet. That's exactly what happened, dude.
Charles, you want 4 in there? 4 of these?
If you guys are on YouTube, tell us what I just got a new notification that we're live on Facebook.
So it might be a separate one, but let's just go.
Hey, I think we're.
Everybody's yelling at Clint.
I know.
What the heck,
That's when I
Clint?
got a message saying fire Clint. I was like, what the fuck?
Clint broke it.
Clint.
Clint's horrible at his job.
That's funny.
It's so they're all saying the same thing that like Cam says. You had one job, like.
Oh my god.
Oh, good thing we haven't paid him yet this month.
555.
Well,
Dialed.
So guys, did it just kind of shut down for all you people watching? Did it just kind of shut down for a second and then light right back up, or what?
Yeah, Facebook's there.
Lights off. Let's go to Annie's.
Lights off. Going to Annie's. Oh gosh.
Oh, stop.
Wow, these are an F Clint. That's nice.
That's
That guy
nice.
says F Clint.
I agree. Don, I hear you, bud. Yeah.
Dude, I'm so disappointed in all you live feed followers. None of you guys bought the Low Hole Clint shirt. We literally sold like 2.
to Clint's buddies because he felt that.
So we're gonna be giving those away at the Vancouver Bash. So if you want to,
I put them in the package. I packed them.
Cut them and size them for bait rags.
yeah.
The new bait
So
rag.
it looks
Bait
like,
towels.
oh god.
yeah. So it looks like on Facebook it started a new one, but on YouTube it looks like it might have stayed at the same one, which is crazy.
That's good to know.
That's really cool that YouTube's able to do that.
Go YouTube.
Another reason to do it on
Yeah,
YouTube.
F Facebook. Zach.
We're sorry, guys. We're kind of sitting here for a second, letting some more people tune back in because we lost the whole Facebook feed got shut down. So anyone that was watching on Facebook, you should have just come over and watch on YouTube instead because it's so much better. So much better. Can someone low hole Clint, please?
Really?
Guys, in all honesty, it was my fault. I'll take the blame. I didn't plug in. Literally, we were running this entire live feed off Wi-Fi because I forgot to plug in the Ethernet cables.
So your Wi-Fi's out for the month.
So we didn't have the Ethernet cables plugged in. So for some reason, the Wi-Fi just like decided all of a sudden it wanted to disconnect, and we lost you. So I take the blame. It wasn't my fault. So you guys can all key the roasting of Marlon right now.
Not gonna happen.
Marlon, you're fired.
You fired.
Someone low hole cam.
Let's get back to what
Yeah.
you were doing here, though.
Yeah, we got the viewers again.
I think so. I mean, I think they'll tune back in. If not, so we lost it, and we were. You know what? We're gonna do a giveaway just because we lost all these people.
Yeah, all these guys that jumped back on quick. 350 of you guys jumped back on quick.
It's 8:09 at 8:12. We're gonna give you 3 minutes. At 8:12, we're gonna pick someone to win some addicted steelhead worms and some mustad KVD treble hooks. Just share this out there. Let's try to get these viewers back in here. Share this out there on Facebook and all those other jams. And make sure you give the video a thumbs up, especially on YouTube. Minimize that chat window and smash that thumbs up button, please. And then we're going to comment. The question is going to be, do you know how many are in there?
Yep.
How many bead leaders did
it.
Cameron just tie in his leader feeder? How many bead
And just to let you know, it's
leaders?
full.
How many bead leaders are in that box?
First winner. First one
No,
that we
just-
see.
Okay, yeah, I like it. First one. Well, it's gonna be the first person to watch.
Well, we'll see.
First person to guess.
Oh, damn it.
But make sure that you shared. Make sure that you shared and make sure that you thumbs up the button. Guess how many leaders are in Cameron's leader feeder?
Yeah, that's right.
This one?
Yep.
Where?
That first one you saw. Let people guess for a little bit.
Who was the first one?
Maybe. Oh, I don't know if that's right or not.
Go back up.
Keep going.
This one?
That was.
No, wait. Keep going
This
up.
one.
That was it. Yep.
That one is.
That one's out.
Okay, someone already won. You guys can all stop guessing. Good try, stuff.
That was a little short-lived. We'll do another contest in a minute. We'll think of something.
Somebody's
I blew
got
it.
somebody's
I
got a
blew it.
leader
I blew it.
feeder.
That's
Yeah.
Cue the roasting
That was
camera now.
not
That was the
irony
winner.
in
We
my
saw it.
opinion.
There you go. Coastal Fishing Adventures. You guessed correct at 28 liters. So you won yourself some addicted worms, some KVD trebles.
And a leader feeder with 28 liters.
Yeah, I would tie those up for 28 liters. I'll send you a box for a $100 bill every time.
What are those incognito beads or something?
No, there's not going to be a bead on it. Because that ain't worth
Where's
it.
the glass
I just
So Coastal, what was that? Coastal Fishing Adventures. Send us an email to orders@addicted.fishing. Make sure you include your address and what you won so we can get this shipped out to you. Yes, there you go. There's the email.
all right.
So now I think we probably have some people back in here, and you can get back to the juice of what you were doing.
The
You were-
juice, the
you
Old
were doing some
Faithful.
tasty
We're
stuff
talking
here.
about the Old Faithful. So I need my piece of pencil lead back.
No.
No, you're good. We're good. Got the pencil lead going here. So the Old Faithful we were all talking about, and everybody knew exactly what I was talking about as soon as I went for it. And that is the old pink pearl corky and a piece of yarn. Everybody has their favorite color corky. If you guys don't know what a corky is, look it up. But I'm going to just tie a normal egg loop, whatever egg loop you guys want to do on that. I got a number 2 mustad octopus style hook here. I'm going to get my bait loop tied.
Bait loop.
And me personally, I like a small piece of yarn. What about you guys? I like to call it a little wink of yarn, if you will.
Real fast. The coasties, yeah, you can put the little glass beads on those bead leaders and they store in that thing just.
I thought it was more like.
Well, that's what you're doing, right? That's what you're actually doing, right? You're putting the glass beads on it.
Yeah, those bead leaders.
What is going on right
Have
now?
them on there and ready to go.
Why do I feel like it's
We
so
changed
quiet in here?
subject.
I answered a question.
I'm just teasing.
It's the whole sense of having the leaders tied up.
All right, so pink pearl corky, a little piece of the old glow bug yarn. God, there's been so many fish slayed on this stinking yarn over the years.
Tequila sunrise.
Just yarn, dude.
Tequila. So for me, when I add my yarn, like I was just asking these guys, but nobody answered me because they don't like to drift fish. I like to use about a thumb's width of yarn. A lot of people you'll see out there on the river, and they're like tying little bow ties and stuff on their line with their yarn. But for me, I tie my egg loop. I give it about 1 thumb width of yarn, and you'll see what happens when I do put that in my egg loop. It almost makes like a yarny sized little puff of yarn, which is pretty convenient. So I run my egg loop out of that hook shank. I put my yarn right in my bait loop. Pull that tight.
You need to go to side cam.
I'm going to redo that then.
Going to side cam.
Good?
You don't do the double loop way?
7 Up.
So we'll go just like that.
Down, down, down.
Stick that yarn right in the middle there. Make sure that's fairly even. Like so.
Down.
And I'll give it a little ruffle up. Make a little yarny puff there.
Yarny poof.
And there we are. The old Santa Claus setup.
It's tasty.
I might just
It
keep
looks like a jig.
I might just keep that on there.
What?
Oh, the irony.
Motor jig, fish that spot.
That looks so good.
So there we have it.
Maybe
Trick
put
number
You
1.
can dip that in some like egg juice or put some scent on it. What do you like to do with it? Just run
A
it
little
there.
bit of everything. A little bit of this.
Do
A
you
little
put
bit of
eggs?
that. I'll run eggs. This honestly, this setup right here, in my opinion, maybe some scent on it, or maybe one of the little addicted eggs. If you like anised it up and put it right on the end of the hook, it's gonna add that scent, add a little more profile. But I've caught more fish on this plain setup. Like, drop it out, cast it out, and hook a fish instantly. Like just with that, not really getting too crazy with it, not getting fancy.
That was when you were flossing them?
Mainly.
When there's 500 laying in front of him in a hatchery run.
But I don't think it's really like, super. It's just like anything. The scent will help you. Throwing a little bait on there might help, but that simple presentation as it sits right there has caught lots and lots and lots of fish over the years. So straying away from that now.
Is there really 283 people watching on YouTube and only 15 thumbs ups? So pretty much all those people.
There's 420 watching total. Sorry.
Yeah, but that means that all those people were pretty much disqualified from winning those prizes. We're not
Did
selling to
did
you.
wait? Did the YouTube reset the thumbs up?
I don't know.
No.
Oh.
I don't know, guys. That makes me super sad. You guys don't like thumbs up in our videos.
No, it did reset. Because it's at 82 thumbs up, and it was a couple hundred earlier.
Oh.
Or
okay.
112,
All right.
so it did
You
reset.
guys get a free pass.
So you broke it then.
You broke it. So Clint, you are the cause of the no thumbs up.
Great.
That's like a slap in the face, Clint.
Great, Clint. Great. Okay, what's another tasty setup you got here?
The next setup, drum roll please. We're gonna rig
Bead?
up a bead.
I was wondering, how often do you just drift fish a bead?
A lot. A lot. And especially days when I know there's fish there. I know we should be catching them, and we can't seem to hook them up with our float rods. Whether it be water conditions, whether it be pressure on the fish. Fish have seen that speed of a presentation coming at them over and over and over again. Or say like a real low clear situation when you're like, if you're not going to chandelier a bead or suspend it from something, having all that line dragging, having your 20-pound of your braid all the way down to your weight, having the 6 feet of 12-pound test off your bobber dogging setup or whatever it's going to be, and switching to that 3.5 foot a leader, one bead, and drift fishing it to those fish can make the overall difference a lot of the time. Which is why I would switch to drift fishing a bead. And a lot of it too, if you're going to be drift fishing things like beads or something that you really want dragging heavily, you want to fish runs that you know fairly well. I'd say that's going to be one of your biggest advantages if you're learning how to drift fish, is to fish water that you already know and you've already maybe caught fish in. Because a lot of times it's probably not going to be the first thing that you're going for as far as this drift fishing technique if you're just trying to learn how to fish. So remember that as you go into this. But what I got here, I got me I don't know, these lured beads got smaller holes. I'm gonna need a toothpick.
Pegs won't work.
I'm gonna use just a different kind of bead then. Let's go with the Old Faithful here. So this is just a normal Brad's bead or trout bead, and what we're using here is just one of the normal little Brad's bead stops or a toothpick. I just don't have any toothpicks right here, but this is just one of the clear stops. Let's shoot on over here.
Side cam.
Rob Carter, you definitely can peg the corky. That is something that I started to do later on in my fishing, before we really kind of got hot to trot on this bead phase. When I'm using a 6 or like an 8 mil corky, I don't know what, I think they're a 6 or an 8 size. When I'm using those kind of corkies, normally I don't mind it as much going down to my hook gap because I might be using a size 2 or like a size 1 hook. If I am drift fishing some bait or something, so it's not going to make as big of a difference or cover up my hook gap. But if I'm going to be fishing a bead, something that is going to be big, anything over like 10 to 12 millimeters, I'm going to want to make sure I'm keeping that thing pegged away from my hook so that I'm not going to consistently just lose fish over and over and over again once I do hook them. So that's just a clear bobber style, keeping that thing a nice distance away from the hook. You can use an egg loop, you can use just a normal clinch knot, whatever is going to work best for you. And there you have it. And that's just going to connect right to my pencil lead once again. Keeping that leader, I could say maybe a little bit if you're going with some smaller beads or a, trying to end up in a little more intimate setup where you're not going to be spooking those fish as much. You may want to go up into the 4.5, maybe 5 foot range as far as leader length, but keep it within that same 3 to 4 feet, 4.5 foot leader range if you're drift fishing any kind of beads. Now what's next? Worm.
Yeah, worm would be good to show.
Before we go to worm, I'm going to rig up a yarny.
Yarn ball, huh?
Same thing. I think they're kind of getting the gist. We don't have to rig everyone up. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
You need to do each side of
we need to show them how to rig a 4 BB slinky.
A 4 BB slinky, a 5 BB, and down to a 1 BB.
Ooh, I don't know if I want to waste any of these nice yarn balls.
Why would you waste them? You could fish it.
Okay.
Yeah. Side cam.
Side cam. Yarnies.
Yarnies.
So yarning thing's another pretty cool little method. You're gonna want to again have a bait loop on your hook so that you can secure that yarnie. Sometimes I'll actually kind of run these like a puff, almost like an arrow puff, and I'll run the yarnie all the way up and over my hook eye and let it sit above the eye of my hook.
I thread 'em.
Yeah, I just never keep a threader with me, and when I do, it ends up getting bent in half or like thrown around in the bag too much, you know. But I usually, a lot of times, will just run this right through,
Oh, through the hook.
right through the hook.
It works.
Yep, I'll run my small finger. Run my egg loop right around that yarnie.
There's these two, dude.
That is like super OG.
Just like so. And you're fishing.
Lower.
One thing I will do every now and again, like if I'm fishing a yarnie and I say I don't have a number 1 hook or something's going on where I have a little bit smaller hook, this is a trick that I started doing lately with clients losing fish on yarnies, is I'd have them secured like that. And sometimes with these yarnies, depending on what kind of yarn whoever made them is using, it'll kind of create that same hook displacement that like a bead would. So what I'll do here, I'll have it set right where I want. I'll take my scissors and I'll just trim it semi-flat on that side with the hook. You still have that same great presentation off the back, but then you actually open up your hook gap just that much more too. And I've noticed I'll go from losing 3 or 4 fish in a row on that, trimming that little bit of yarn off, and go right back to actually catching them. What's going on?
Pay attention what you're doing.
Oh, a puff.
What about these, dude?
Those things, whew, don't even get me started
Do these
on those.
work?
Whew.
What's so good about these?
Yeah, where's Sean?
Where's Sean?
That.
Mean.
The old puff, man.
Show that
We're gonna
box.
really make some guys mad here. Hey, Finn. Oh! Dog bite! Go eat a pizza, Finn.
Go eat a pizza.
All right, so one thing that Marlon just busted out, and this is kind of a cool thing. It's some might call it a secret.
Millions of years.
Billions of years.
Nobody's gonna do
Yeah, nobody's gonna properly fish this. At least I'll tell you that much.
it. No.
Need a 25 slinky drag.
Yeah, right.
I'm doing a little minor adjustments to
Need a
this.
3-ounce cannonball to fish these.
Hey, put that box back in the side cam.
What box?
It never made it. It was on. It was upside down.
What
Like
box?
The lid. That
What are
one.
you talking about?
Who makes it?
What one?
For who make? Yeah.
Oh, yep, Jacob Tooley.
Why are you really doing it too much?
So one thing that I like to do, and what we're talking about here, you guys, now, is the infamous puff or a rag. If you ask Lonnie, these are only used for flossing and snagging steelhead. But that's just an ongoing inside joke. Everybody laugh. But this is a different setup. It's like a yarny foam piece. You watch too much Family Guy.
Giggity, giggity.
So this is what we call a rag or an arrow puff. And these are something that is used not as much around the Pacific Northwest as they used to be. I see them used more in Alaska than anywhere else. But is an extremely effective presentation in really high water. But it's one of the more difficult things to fish, and I'm going to show you why. But what I do with this is I have my same setup. I'm going to usually normally use like a number 1 sized hook or maybe even a little bigger for this puff setup, because you're going to want something that gets outside of all that yarn and outside of that foam that's on it. And what I do here, first off, I'm going to run like a 10 mil or an 8 mil bead down so that my puff stays away from my hook. I'm going to run that bead down right onto the tip of my hook, and then I'm going to take
Bead or corky.
my puff. What's that?
Bead or corky.
Bead or corky, exactly.
The extra flotation don't matter. Don't mess it up.
That's what I was just. That's kind of why I've always gone with the bead, is so that it does help it stay down a little bit. And I'm gonna run the puff foam end up towards my lead, just like so, and that's gonna sit just like that.
side.
All dainty and so. Oh god,
That looks so good.
That looks so sexy.
Too big.
But one thing in particular that is the most important part of if you're going to be fishing this puff, you're going to. A lot of times, why I don't have my clients fish puffs is one, because they're not going to be drift fishing much, and two, because when I give them a bobber dogging setup and their leader's this long, they look at me like I'm an idiot. But you cannot fish these puffs.
Sorry.
What a jerk.
Well, you can't fish these puff setups with a long leader because, as you
Where'd
can
they
tell, they really float high in the water column because there's a ton of flotation on these. So you're going to want to stick within a 2-foot leader, at least. I'd say 2 foot sometimes is almost too long. And check into your regulations. It's mostly during the fall and during coho and like Chinook seasons where they have leader length restrictions on rivers. Some parts of Oregon and stuff have leader length restrictions all year round. But you're going to want to stick within that realm and make sure, of course, if a stater comes up and he knows that you're steelhead fishing and he's seen a rag before, he's probably not going to harp on you. But you want to stick with that at least 2-foot leader, if not shorter. And that is going to be what keeps you down in the strike zone. Because if not, you say you got a 4-foot leader here, it's connected to your pencil lead. You're fishing at 8-foot run and you have a 4-foot leader. If you can watch in that clear water, your rag will literally be at 4 feet in the water column and not down in front of those fish's face. So the more you shorten that leader, the more you can put that thing right in front of those fish. And actually, we actually got to watch in Alaska the fish
insane.
swim up and eat these things, and it was the most aggressive, delicate take I've ever seen. They would swim up to them and then they just open their mouth and grab it, and there was fish on. But the problem with the puffs, kind of like the bead, I lose a ton of fish on puffs. Almost all. I mean, as many fish as you hook on them, I seem to lose. And I don't know if it's the hook size or whatever else it is, but having that shorter leader and being able to...
Don't you run like a 1/0 with it?
Yeah, usually I'll run a 1/0 or a size 1, but I think the size 1 sometimes is a little too big, or excuse me, too small. So, another little trick, fun one. Not one to forget, especially when we get back into these high water series that looks like it's coming back this weekend. These puffs and those big yarn balls and stuff like that work really, really well. All right, what else?
I feel like we need to do an addicted life where we go out and all we do is just like drift fish, like get rid of the float stuff for one day.
That'd be
pretty
fun.
cool.
And then can we
Where'd the
come behind
box
ya?
go?
And then we'll
Where'd the puff
Show
box go?
different?
We should have a contest.
Puff box? Oh, got it. Sorry. Here.
damn, I think I'm leaving this rigged up. I'm fishing this.
Do it. Fish it up.
We should do that. We should fish one river one day, 3 different boats. Somebody plug fishes, somebody bobber fishes, and somebody drift fishes.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool. And you know what? We'll have the opportunity. We actually,
And the
you know what?
This week.
boat will beat y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, we will, yeah.
Yeah, and whoever goes down first will catch the
We
most
can't do
fish.
that down there, dude. I'm going
No.
down there to
But
catch
hey.
giants.
But in March.
Giants.
But in March.
Yeah.
When we have a lot of boats. A lot of different people
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be fun. Do you want to? Yeah, we got way sidetracked right there.
Sorry.
I think the
No,
last
not
the last thing that probably is a worm, real quick. Show a worm.
I don't want to.
These people want to see a worm, Jordan.
I know. I'll show them a worm.
We want to see like at least a 4-inch one.
We're gonna have to cut it down.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to cut them down here. The water's getting a little clear.
Fish are scared.
Sidetrack.
Yeah,
We're
right.
still talking worms.
Out in La La Land. Where'd that bead go?
Use a corky.
Oh, you're right.
Pick a.
Pick a worm.
Let's pick
boy.
one. Let's pick. No, let's go. Let's go peachy.
That looks really nice right now.
I'd love to do it.
This one, dude.
What? Thread a worm for me?
No,
I should've-
do a show drifting.
Wait, I'll get you.
You got a worm feather?
No.
The only reason I don't drift that much is I hate tying
Yeah, I
up.
do. I do have a worm
I
there.
hate tying up that much.
Okay.
Honestly,
Here's your threader. Here's
the
your
reason I don't ever have to tie up as much when I'm drift fishing is because I just don't really fish anywhere. I don't like have the hole memorized. I probably wouldn't do it. I probably wouldn't do it if I was like going to every hole. But most of the time I feel like you don't lose. It's almost like a spinner. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna fish it right in that little zone. You know you can get them, then you're putting that rod away.
I do think an advantage though of drift fishing though is being able to go to like a riffle or a run. It's something that
white.
you know that's not going to be muddy or not muddy but woody
Ooh, that looks good.
or like low in the
Sure.
river. Where The thing about drift fishing
Dude,
is
you-
if
I
you
think
cast
you need to
out
rig
and
this
you
up
touch
and
the
fish it
bottom,
tomorrow.
you know you're on the bottom.
Yep.
You cast that float out, and if it's not making contact, you don't know where you're at. And if the run changes depth too, like if the run starts like at 5 feet and goes up to 2 feet, like you're kind of ticking along a tail out, you can't really do that effectively flip fishing, like with a jig or a worm.
No, you gotta.
Gotta
Run
fish
the
it,
top,
adjust
stretch.
it, fish it, adjust it. So variable bottoms can be really good for drift fishing.
So which way you want to go with this? Upside down?
Uh-huh.
Upside down.
Okay. Do a little pinchy.
What do you mean? No, you leave the whole worm.
The whole worm. We're going big boy hunting, son.
Oh, shouldn't this have a hole in it
No.
to like properly work as a threader? You see how I thread worms? I don't take a threader with me.
Let me show you.
It's
Yeah, somebody show me how to use this one. Normally a worm threader has like the little hole in the top of it. You stick the hook in and you slide
That's
it
what
through.
that little groove is at
That's
the
what the
top. of it.
line, the thing in the end is for. There you go. I would have got it wet first.
Sometimes you don't have to.
Oh, those ones come pre-wet.
It's like arts and crafts right now, boys.
Big ol'
And I'm sitting here making all of Charles' slinkies that you'll ever need.
He changed his mind. He wants 3.
Well, guess what? He's getting 2s.
Did you ruin all my slinky material?
I'm making these for you. I'm not using them. I'm just sitting here being.
Just two
Two
dollars
dollars
is what you
for
like.
Two ballers.
Those are
Two
for-
Dude, you need to show this in the freaking side cam.
those are for
Go.
the beef.
Come on in, Josh.
Side cam this.
Get in there. Get all
Hey,
up in there.
slinky guy, move.
Hey,
I
Are you
have
making
moved.
slinkies?
I've made.
A new way of running a bead leader. and
So you've threaded, you basically put that worm onto the, like, slid it all the way up in there.
Can you see it?
Slid that worm all the way up
Oh, okay, I get it now.
Then you
Now you just-
Yeah, I wasn't using
This
my
one isn't
thinking.
as easy because it has a little gap on the
And it cuts in.
rear line.
Pour it out.
It's hard because you gotta do it now.
Yep.
Go back. Clint. I feel like I pulled that and push.
Bingo.
Oh, he got it. Good job, Josh.
That's how you want to fish a worm. Wacky.
Yeah.
He didn't put the corky on there.
Oh man.
It's alright, we can redo this.
Either way, credit.
You don't have to have
You
an
don't
egg.
have to have
You don't
an egg
have,
loop knot
yeah.
either, so you could pull the line through and then just double clinch it if you wanted to.
You do gotta have cork on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like
But
it for contract.
you gotta have an egg loop on there too. I want my hook to pull straight.
Too strong.
Turn your eye in and it'll turn.
I like the fish to pull it any way they want to.
It's a joint.
It's a joint.
Knowledge.
There you go.
Incorrect knowledge.
Jordan
Not
give
always
it.
good.
Jordan give it.
What do you got going on here?
Cameron's lighting stuff on fire. I'm
Making
apparently
sense.
improperly tying a hook on.
It's going down. This live feed is lit.
Hella.
There's a lot of arts and crafts going on.
There you go.
That's a whole 6 inches. Yeah, 6 and a
Dude,
half
I
inches of fun.
guarantee you, if you fish this tomorrow, you'll catch one on it.
Hopefully not on that 6-pound leader they tied that on.
Oh no. Go show that side cam.
Again.
Smash really quick. I think they look good wacky like that though.
Yep.
That's how they look the
They
best.
they look so good when they drift that way too.
And the steelhead comes up and eats that whole 6-inch.
I do miss a lot.
Yes. So that's pretty much. That's a good little smorgasbord of baits that they could drift.
I mean, I
fish.
definitely see a lot of people here saying this is best live feed we've done in a long time.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
it has
It's mu-
absolutely
yeah, it must have been because it shut off halfway
it
through.
has absolutely
Absolutely.
nothing to do with Clint. Well, anything else? What else you got to cover?
Man,
What about you guys? You guys got any questions? I think we've
let's
done.
do the
Have you
questions
covered
all at
ideal drift fishing water? We talked about water.
no, we have not. And that's a tough one. You know, without any like real like spitting images on the screen and stuff of it's, you're gonna fish a drift fishing setup pretty much anywhere. Well, I guess anywhere. I mean, anywhere that you would normally fish some sort of bobber dogging setup or some sort of setup that you want to intentionally be touching bottom.
I I started drift fishing this year, and normally I don't. And I started drift fishing this year because I noticed that my bobber was getting pushed through the water way too fast. And that's when I decided, all right, I'm going to give up the bobber and decided to start drift fishing. And that's been the ticket. Anytime the water's high and it's just too much, instantly drift fish rig.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it goes along the lines of is identifying one spots to fish that you would use it, spots that you can't effectively fish afloat or some sort of suspended setup. Your bobber dogging setup is getting blown through. There's 2 different water currents in that seam or whatever sort of boil or hole that you're in. Along the same lines is picking good structure or good bottoms that don't have a lot of big tombstone-y sized boulders, stuff that is going to obviously get you snagged. Basically any hardware, I've fished a lot of deep big boily holes before. You can fish the drift fishing setup just about anywhere, but again I'm going to resort back to saying the fact of fish familiar water as well. Don't go and guess fish because you're going to spend way more time tying up than you are actually going through there and fishing with some of their setup that's actually going to be effective in that kind of water.
Cool. What do you have to say to people that say drift fishing is flossing? Because I've seen that multiple times now throughout this live feed.
Not even close.
Explain why it's not.
Anybody who says that, they're uneducated.
Explain why.
Because you actually flossing. How could we compare this? It'd be like saying that those are the same guys that would say like all twitching is snagging, right? I mean, you have a fish that willingly takes the bait with one technique, and a fish that doesn't take the bait with the other.
That's unfair because a lot of people get the misconception of basically, especially in fall season, where they see people using a 10-foot leader.
Right.
And so
It's
it just
different.
falls
So,
into that category.
At the end of the day, it's the willingness of the fish, right? Like, by saying that all drift fishing is flossing is like saying that I could be a snagger. All twitchers are snaggers. It's the same thing. You have a fish that willingly takes the bait, and you have fish that doesn't.
I think you're gonna have
So if
casualties of war on both.
Right, and you do.
instances,
Okay,
is
yeah,
what-
let's
what
be
we're
honest.
trying
You
to
do,
say.
and you do.
You
But
hook
what I'm
them in
saying is the intent.
Feathers when you're twitching,
the
it
intent.
happens. Yes,
It's
and
the
you
intent, and
get
it's
one
not the
occasionally
same.
floss.
I mean, I can't think of if you don't want to floss fish, like the way you drift fish is generally not the way that you try to floss fish. You don't try to put out. You don't put out a little heavier lead than what you would normally drift. You don't do a lot of like the sideways, the
pulling
K&I
back
flip,
every
the
cast.
swing. You don't do that. You're fishing a shorter leader. You want
The
to get
Cedar
the
Creek
presentation
twitch.
to them. Yeah, it's not the same. It's not even close to the freaking same. I could think of literally hundreds of steelhead on the home river that I caught drift fishing. I don't think I ever snagged one.
100%.
So I mean, it's not the same. But if the guy is fishing a 10-foot leader and he's swinging through the run
every
and he's
single
doing
time.
that, then he's trying to floss.
And that gives drift
It's
fishing
intent.
a really bad rep.
If I'm trying to twitch and I cast out and I'm swinging 18
Every time.
feet every single time, like it's.
That sounds like something Charles would say. It's flossing if you catch over 7 fish. He's just kidding. I bet that guy drift fishes.
It's not
And as soon as
the same.
somebody sees him catch over 2 fish, they say he's flossing. Been there. No, I wish we could make a
I've seen
difference
you flossing.
between drift fishing and flossing.
I've seen Jordan walk up and go, "You see that? I'm gonna catch that fish right there."
Oh,
The fish was only this
Got
big too.
Oh, that was trout
They call me the dentist.
up in.
They call me the dentist.
They call me the dentist.
No, but I wish we, without going to hell in everybody's minds, I wish we could go out and make a video like, this is flossing. What? And then be like, this is drift fishing.
right.
You know? Exactly. Then it would be a how-to flossing. And we'd go to hell
Could you
forever.
imagine?
Dude, maybe
Yeah.
we should start just
I'm
doing.
saying, we could
should
definitely
start
do
doing
it.
tutorials on just like.
Well, if we're gonna do all illegal stuff, we might as well like how to shoot a sea lion. Let's just
Yeah,
go big.
exactly.
Why we
That'll be
That'll be viral
Yeah.
for sure.
Chasing them around with slingshots.
All right, guys. I think we're kind of starting to wrap up here.
Yeah, we are.
I saw a couple people say that they want us to record a podcast
Yeah.
Oops, we only did that
About
before.
flossing.
about flossing.
Well, we got spring Chinook stuff to talk about. We could do one.
God, that stuff stinks.
All right, guys. You guys got any last little questions here before we kind of call it a night here? Why is
Cool.
Garden Frugal commenting on the thing?
It's the same guy who made the Cameron freaking.
Salt pineapple season.
Yeah. We'll talk to you when I need a freaking good pina colada.
All right, everyone.
Yeah, be offended.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I think this
We
means
outski.
means you covered it really, really,
Yes,
really
yes.
good.
We
If
got
you're
it
not-
all.
I feel like I
Yeah.
talked a lot, at least.
Who's coming tomorrow?
Yeah.
Let's answer that question and let's see.
Yep,
let's
one
see the
last giveaway here.
Yeah.
We're gonna give away another pack of KVD trebles. Some, not those addicted steelhead worms, but a pack of addicted steelhead worms.
I should have said that.
Okay, pack of addicted steelhead worms, mustad hooks, and some of the Procure Badass soap. Which this stuff's really awesome to have in your boat. I highly suggest if you have a drift boat or a sled that you get some of it and use it to wash everything.
I used to leave one on my truck.
We're fishing.
And we're gonna ask, the question's gonna be, are you coming to the bash tomorrow? Are you coming to the Vancouver Sportsman's Warehouse Addicted Bash? Clint, throw up the flyer one last time.
You're
We're
talking
gonna
about
randomly
some stuff.
select.
Oh, there we go. Hold on. What am I doing?
Dude, I left it pretty generic. Talk about whatever, basically.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, hand me that phone.
That's the question. So keep commenting yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. I want to see a whole bunch of yeses, please. I know a lot of you guys aren't from around here, though, so I
If you're
doubt
from
it.
Michigan, get on a damn plane. Get your
Yeah,
ass
if
over
you're
here.
out of the state, fly in. It's not that big a deal. Just go grab a flight.
A rental car, a hotel room.
I like how Clint covered up Cameron, too.
That's beautiful. That's good. I'm busy working.
Nice, Connor. He's heading down from Everett.
Everett, Washington. Hope you're fishing down here.
Seeing lots of yeses, seeing lots of no's, seeing lots of maybes.
Oh, the maybes, come on. If there's a chance that you can be there, you're going to be there.
If you can't show up right at 5, don't worry. We usually do like 5 o'clock. You'll get there, kind of hang out, eat some pizza. Then around 5:30, 5:45, we usually start the seminar
Wait,
and then do
no, no.
giveaways and all that kind
Wait,
of stuff.
sorry, dude. No, we usually start about 6:30 for the seminar, actually talking part of it.
Yeah,
right?
but it's earlier
An hour
because
earlier.
Sportsman's closes at 8.
Thank you. I'm glad I know that.
Yeah, it's 5 to 8.
Got it.
It's 5 to 8 because Sportsman's closed. I actually put the first flyer out and it said 6 to 9, and Travis was like, "Dude, we close at 8." And I'm like, "Oh, my bad."
Okay.
So.
Hope I make it.
Eddie Moody, thank you so much for the super chat, dude. We will see you tomorrow, man. At least Cameron isn't clicking the damn pen.
That's right. That's what I said. I can either tie leaders, make slinkies, or click the pen.
And like I said, if you can't get there at 5, show up afterwards. We're still going to have hangout time. And
So when are we going to start talking? 5:30 tomorrow?
yeah, I think about 5:30, 5:45. So if you got there by 5:30, 5:45, you should be able to catch the seminar no matter what. You just would miss out on the pizza and that fun stuff. And usually we have some
Extras, too, a lot of times.
Usually we have some little gifts and prizes for the first 50 people that show up. We'll be throwing out hats and stickers and all sorts of random things. So
Is Champ coming tomorrow?
I asked him to.
I think he said he was. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I asked him
Yeah,
to.
he's
He
coming
said he
tomorrow.
couldn't.
Hatchery Wild Coexist coming tomorrow, too.
Does he know the right time then?
I'll double check that. I don't think he's coming
Yeah.
to Pittsburgh, though.
So Hatchery and Wild Coexist will be. Yeah, he's not. He told me. Hatchery and Wild Coexist will be there giving a spiel in the first 15 minutes of the seminar. So it's a really good educational piece for you guys to learn and get you amped up and excited to basically be able to help our fisheries into the future.
It'll be a good one.
Yeah, I know, guys. It sucks we had to move it to 5. But like I said, if you can't get there till 6, which is when we
You'll be
normally
fine.
start them, you'll be
Yeah.
fine. Just get there at 6.
Yeah.
Lucas Holmgren Media says, should they put a dam on the Chehalis? Absolutely freaking no. And if you guys are seeing the petitions that are going around and all the things going around with the dam that they're trying to put in on the Chehalis, it's insanely idiotic. When are we as humans going to learn that we have ruined so much habitat and so many things over the years Figure out a new way. Dam is not the solution. Please do everything you can to be against that dam and fight against that dam. Send letters to your officials. Go file petitions. Do whatever you have to do to fight against that dam on the Chehalis system. That is the most stupid thing I've ever seen. I can't even believe they're trying to do it.
It's a flood-ridden system as it is already.
Yeah.
Why would you think of putting it?
Unbelievable.
To help that.
Make
That's
sure.
their argument.
They're
Well,
not
good.
used to having water on the
Get
freeway.
rid of the cities then.
Like they're not used to having water on the freeway.
It's like, no.
I lived in Centralia.
Dude, they've seen, I just don't understand why they would even, they've seen what it's done on every other river system in the Northwest. Why would they even consider it? It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm not sure where their petition at. I've seen it floating around on Facebook a bunch. But Lucas, if you're commenting below, maybe you can drop a link or drop some information of where they can go sign that petition and fight against that dam. All right, Clint, let's pick a winner. I'm losing my voice. Ted Arnberg. Ted Arnberg, you won yourself some mustad hooks, some addicted steelhead worms, and some ProCure soap. Thanks so much to everyone, all you guys that share the live feeds and comment and give us thumbs up and all that. It really helps spread the word with addicted.
After we cut you off.
Yeah, and join back in after we lost the live feed. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. Ted, make sure you shoot us an email to orders@addicted.fishing. Tell us what your address is and all that jazz. And also, if any of you guys that won prizes are coming to the bash tomorrow, just shoot us an email or a message and let us know, and we'll just bring the stuff to the bash so we don't have to spend the money to ship it to you. And then you can get it sooner as well.
All right, guys.
I don't know.
I think that's it. I think we're good. End it with that flyer, Clint. Throw that flyer up, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Later, boys and girls.